Cat 2 picks cheated cards. Autistic show. Now retarded.
Namaste, sentient being, citizen of Gotham. It is Sunday, August 9th, 2015. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in. I do appreciate you stopping by. Activist post how Facebook tracks messages and photos for crime reports to police. This is obviously about Facebook. I would argue, as I have in other posts that I've made, that all social media forms, be it Yahoo, Google+, Pinterest, Tumblr, LinkedIn, whatever, every other one of these mediums are purposely made, just like the internet, to track people. Internet was bestowed upon to us by the United States government who made it. They made it with the tracking capabilities and knowing that people would likely go on them and in eventual time or eventuality put in a lot of personal information. Hence all of these social medias, forums or websites or entities in which people put all their personal information onto, upload, whatever you want to call it, so that the world can see. So by doing that, we made things very easy. This is the mark of the beast. They didn't have to chip us. They were able to do this and do it with our willingness, under our own volition, so to speak. So it's very unfortunate, but all social mediums, the only way you will not be tracked today is if you have a very old-style flip phone or you do not use a flip phone and you're not on the internet at all other than maybe going on and just doing some minor research, but your ISP address is databased as well. That's your fingerprint, so whenever you're going online doing anything, you could be looking at how to save people. The government will know about it. Even today with using landlines, they are all trackable as well. It's not like it used to be 40 years ago where they only tracked some of it. Now everything is tracked. It's just not covert right now. It's not overt right now, excuse me. It's covert. They're doing it under a guise at the moment. Eventually, when they go to a full police state, they won't have to. Everything will be, overt. Everything will be right there, so everyone will know everything you're doing is tracking, which they're doing anyway. So, having prefaced that, Facebook has little-known software, amazing, right? That's into your Facebook account that monitors your profile, chats, and pictures for criminal activity, and that's just what they're telling you. It monitors everything you do, what you like, what you don't like, things you post, you delete or mute, who's in your family, friends, who you label as this and such, your life events that Facebook just magically makes on its own and wants to publish to everyone. It monitors everything you're doing, how many times you push a keystroke on the computer, etc. And pictures for criminal activities, the software will proceed to alert an employee at the company who will then decide whether to call authorities or not. Isn't that nice? So you're being watched by someone who's going to then deem what you're doing, whether it be inappropriate or not, to the extent where they need to alert the authorities. So they're paid to basically squeal on you, and that's very disgusting because that's a gray area for someone to deem what you're doing illegal or not. Basically, it's going to make everyone not want to be on the computer, not do anything, especially when net neutrality goes into full effect. You're not going to want to be on the internet, which is what they really want anyway. Software will monitor individuals who have a loose relationship on social media networks, according to an interview with Facebook Chief Security Officer Joe Sullivan. I'd like to know what they mean by loose. What do they mean by individuals who have a loose relationship? Is that meaning people that aren't on very much? Is that what they mean? Routers, whatever you want to call it. I say routers. Interview with the security officer explains that Facebook's software program on conversations between members who have a loose relationship on the social network. For example, if two users aren't friendly, only recently became friends, have no mutual friends, interact with each other very little, have a significant age difference, and or are located far from each other, the tool pays particular attention. So it's even paying attention to people who you don't have much contact with. Makes even less sense, right? The scanning program looks for certain phrases found in previously obtained chat records from criminals, including sexual predators. Because of Reuters story, we know of at least one alleged child predator who is being brought before the courts as a direct result of Facebook's chat scanning. The relationship analysis and phrase material have to add up before Facebook employee actually looks at communications to make the final decision on whether or not to ping the authorities. Well, that's all very gray area. First of all, they're not just looking for pedophiles and stuff. Second of all, they're using this as a means to justify them snooping on you and saying, well, see, the ends justify the means. We were able to stop a couple predators, a couple child pedophiles, or a couple pedophiles. That was a redundant statement. It doesn't make a difference. They're going to use the ends to justify the means, which are never correct, but people fall for that. It's just stupid, insane stuff. What else is new? Every day the world gets stupider and stupider. Scanning program looks for certain phrases found in previous obtained chats. As I just read, sorry, we never wanted to set up an environment where we have employees looking at private communications. That's an absolute lie. That's the whole reason why this was set up. That was the premise of setting this up. So that's a direct lie. That's their way of mocking you. That's their way of telling you exactly what they're doing. They're actually telling you what they do and then denying it. Unbelievable. So it is really important that we use technology that has a very low false positive rate. Sullivan told Reuters, well, that's bullshit, because if it's people, you're going to have a lot of false positives. You're having people try to justify things. There's no safeguarding it. And even if you had computers doing it, people shouldn't be doing that anyway. People shouldn't be looking at all your personal information and then justifying to do so because it's going to stop crime or stop criminals. That's pre-crime. At that point, you might as well be, concerned with farting too much or whatever. You might as well not even be alive at that point. Software has been used to help gather information on potential murder suspects as well. In just one case, 62 pages of information, pictures, chats, and posts were gathered and handled over to local authorities. To Facebook, in a recent subpoena request, Facebook most likely wants to keep this software secret since most people do not think fondly of someone rummaging through their private messages and photos looking for criminal activities. Also, how far is the system willing to go? Will they soon pursue minor crimes or even thought crime? That's the whole point I was just making. This is the first step. There's a video here if you want to watch it. It's a minute and 22 seconds. I have a couple of subsequent articles that I'd rather read. You might want to check out the video. I didn't. Again, this is all just Big Brother. It is intrusive. It is violating your civil rights on many different levels, many amendments. They don't care, and they'll use the justification as, we stop someone, so then it's okay. Social networks, again by Reuters, scan for sexual predators with uneven results, which there underscores the fact that there's no complete 100% accuracy with it. It's here nor there, as the expression goes. This is an article about that. I'm not going to read it because it's kind of long and it would take too long to read through it. Another article by Reuters, which is what they were talking about, the subpoena. In the first article, they were talking about subpoenaing your records at the end of it, wherever it was. Subpoena request, right? So here's what Facebook sends to cops in response to a subpoena. When authorities use a subpoena to Facebook for your account information, what do they receive? Here's a document showing the pages and pages of data Facebook hands over. They already share law enforcement guidelines publicly, but we never actually seen the data Menlo Park sends over to cops when it gets a formal subpoena for your profile information. Now we know this appears to be the first time we get to see what a Facebook account report looks like. The 71-page document is actually 2 documents in one. The first 8 pages is the actual subpoena. The remaining 62 pages are from Facebook. Most of the pages sent over the social network giant consist of a single photograph plus formal details such as the image caption, when the image was uploaded by whom and who was tagged. Other information released include wall posts, messages, contacts, and past activity on the site, which means everything, which is disgusting that they're doing this. This also underscores that Facebook is a CIA front, was made by the government for this reason, and it's not a social media medium in the event of everyone just come in and be happy and go wee. It's not about that. That's the guise that they get everyone under. The document was released by Boston Phoenix as part of the lengthy feature titled Hunting the Craigslist Killer, which was a PSYOP, by the way, which describes how an online investigation helped officials track down Philip Markoff. The man committed suicide, of course he did, which meant the police didn't care if the Facebook document was published everywhere after robbing 2 women and murdering a third. This was all a PSYOP. It did not happen. The whole point of this was to justify Facebook being able to be more intrusive in your life. I've embedded the full thing courtesy, I guess I should say full story, courtesy of Boston Phoenix. For you above, here's what the newspaper had to say about the release. The document was publicly released by Boston Police as part of the case file and other case documents. The police have clearly redacted sensitive information, and while the police were evidently comfortable releasing Markoff's unredacted Facebook subpoena, we weren't. Markoff may be dead, but the very much alive friends in his friends list were not subpoenaed, and yet their full names and Facebook IDs were part of the document. So we took the additional step of redacting as much identifying information as we could, knowing that any redaction we performed would be imperfect, but believing that there's a strong argument for distributing this, not only for its value in illustrating the Markoff case, but as a rare window for the shadowy process by which Facebook deals with law enforcement. Again, that was a whole psyop just to justify this whole entire thing about being in your rectum, as I would say. As part of the featured newspaper choose to release an extensive amount of evidence that was used in the case. Part of that includes the data Menlo Park sent over to cops after receiving a subpoena from Markoff's Facebook account. As the Boston Phoenix notes, however, the Facebook file contains much more than just information on Markoff. Because we're talking about Facebook, the world's largest social network, by the CIA they should say, invented by them, it is very difficult, or it is just much more work to get all the details about someone's activity on such a search without including information about others. I have two questions about this. Why did the police not redact the file before being publicly released, forcing the newspaper to do what clearly needs to be done? Furthermore, why did the Boston Phoenix redact identifying information of Markoff's friends, but left all the event and profile IDs in the browsing history section, which was purposely done, allowing anyone to browse the events and profiles that Markoff visited? Last year, there was some brouhaha when Anonymous and Louise Sec hackers leaked Facebook law enforcement guidelines. While they were indeed leaked, they were not new. Not only the guidelines already made made available by Facebook, but they were already out of date. Facebook followed up by publishing a web page where you can get the latest from Facebook on its law enforcement rules. You can check it out for yourself here, Information Law Enforcement Authorities. I'm going to look at that for a second. But before I do that, there was the subpoena itself, 71 pages, C3 of 71. It's insane that they have this, but if you want, you can actually look through the subpoena that they were talking about, confidential. This is unbelievable in the sense of, I mean, I don't believe it in the sense that I can't believe it's happening. Of course, they redact virtually everything, right? But it's not unbelievable because all these social mediums, as I said in the beginning of this video, are doing this purposefully. It's not any one social medium. They were all designed to do this. What I'm saying is unbelievable is how they've been allowed to get away with this and how the public does not seem to care or do anything about it, and they just go on looking in their iPhones, texting each other, going out, getting drunk, trying to get laid, spending money, trying to make money, defining themselves by materialism, capitalism, and how many people they lay, and what kind of cars they have, and where they live, and the status they push forth. It's just crazy. This is the information for law enforcement authorities. This is their guidelines, meaning Facebook's guidelines, and about submitting requests and so forth. I will put all of these links in the description box, that one, this one, and that one as well, which was the original article. Craziness, just be careful. Stay well, be balanced. Namaste.